A show of hands if you can relate to that small little clip I just showed you there. Does it seem like every trade that you take goes against you and that the market is after you, specifically after you and your money? In this video, I'm going to show you guys how you can finally be the one who is taking liquidity from the markets. I'm going to show you how to find key zones so you know where to trade from, and a secret tool that I use and many other traders use to see a little bit deeper into the markets. I'm going to make this short and sweet and right to the point. Maybe in a future video, I'm going to go more detailed and in depth, but this video should be just enough for you to see that there are pieces in your trading that are missing. And I hope this video helps you guys out. Before we go on to the video, guys, the description below will have our free Discord. Join that Discord so you can trade with us every morning for free. I also have my Facebook link. It's another community where we like to talk about trading and just communicate every day on what is going on in the markets. And without further ado, let's jump into the video. Alrighty guys, so we are currently on TradingView. I went over this indicator in a previous video, but you guys asked for me to go over it again, so let's get on it. So this indicator is this one right here. It's called Bar Magnified Volume Profile. It's by this creator, Chart Prime, and it is a volume profile indicator. So it gives us the highest volume areas by price level for any given stock. So for this example, we're going to go over Tesla. That's one of my favorite stocks to trade. So now that we're on Tesla right here, what I do is I add this indicator to my chart just like this. We'll go into replay mode and we'll go into pre-market like this. So we know Tesla, the price level is right here around $220. The settings for the indicator that I like to have is to look back at 200 candles and for there to be 100 levels. So that is more than enough levels that we need, and that I don't even need that many. I usually only need like 4 or 5 to find support and resistance zones. This is one of the most important things because I see people who ask me questions and they say, hey, look, this indicator isn't working great, and I see they're using a very short time frame like the 15-minute or 30-minute. I don't do that. I go to the weekly time frame. So I go to the high time frames, and what I do here is I go on the rectangle tool and I build support and resistance levels. So I click here and we can see the yellow line. That's where Tesla price level was at. And then we can see the first level of support is here around 219. So I just make a zone here for myself and we make that green so we know this is a support level. And then I go back to the rectangle tool and we can see there is a resistance level up here for Tesla. And we can make a zone just like that. And then same thing, there's another zone up here and another zone down here. And then sometimes I go to the daily time frame and I see if there are any other key zones that we need to work with. If not, I just go to my 5-minute time frame and now I see my chart looks kind of like this. So on the replay feature, you don't always see the best zones, but in the live markets they look a lot better. So now I have some support levels and some resistance levels that I can work off of, and these are the areas where I am looking for my trades. So when Tesla gets to 218, this is when I am interested in the market. Same thing with 223, same thing with 215, and then this 227 area. I am not looking for trades anywhere else. So if we approach these zones, that is when I am looking for trades. So for example, this 223 level. Tesla came and approached this 223 level, and it broke through it with strength, and we can see this came to about 225, and then it retraced. On the retrace, this is where I am looking for a buy zone. I can expect some buyers to step up around this zone, which they did, and this would have been a nice scalp right here. And then now we come back to 223, and this time we're seeing if there are buyers again. Once this breaks below, now this becomes a resistance level, and one of my favorite things to do is trade from zone to zone. Now, we simply cannot just rely on this is resistance, I'm gonna sell, this is support, I'm going to buy. That is not enough to find healthy zones. Yes, sometimes it might work. We might have a break here and then you find resistance there, but then you have zones like this where it breaks above but it does not act as a support level. And the question is, how can we decipher a real zone versus a zone that is not as reliable? And I will show you guys. So this is a stock that I traded a couple days ago. This is Nvidia. So when I did my zones on Nvidia in pre-market on the 11th, I seen that it gave me a zone here at 553. And I can see here that, or it was more like this 552 zone. And the reason for it is obviously this is the latest resistance level, right? This 552 zone. Now, how was I able to decipher if this 552, 553 zone is a true zone or not? And this is the secret indicator or the secret tool that I mentioned in the beginning, and this is Bookmaps. So this right here is Bookmap. This is how the app looks like this. It's a blue app with 3 lines on it, and this is a tool that shows us liquidity in the market, and it shows us in 2 ways. It shows us historical liquidity and active liquidity in 2 forms. So the active liquidity are these bubbles right here. They come in green and red, buy and sell. These are aggressive buyers and aggressive sellers, and these tell us who is in control of the market. If we have strong green bubbles, that means there are strong buyers in the market, and then same thing with the red zones. Now, the historical zones are areas where either people placed buy or sell orders in the past, or they are currently placing buy and sell orders. They have not been activated yet because price has not reached that level just yet. For example, we can see on Nvidia, this 550 zone, there are a lot of sell orders sitting there, 4,300 sell orders. And I don't know the accuracy of these sell orders, but I don't know if that's the exact number or if it's like quantified a little lower. Anyways, we can see sellers sitting at 550. We can see sellers at 553, 555. And then we can see the opposite, buyers here, a lot of buyers at 545, and so on and so forth. So now that I seen this 553 zone, I seen that this gave me a zone around this area. Now I needed to determine if it's a true zone or not. And the way I did that is I look at Bookmaps and I see at 553 there are a lot of sellers. There are 4,900 sellers, and there are even more sellers at 555. And I can expect maybe there could be a pullback around this zone, but I don't just go in immediately. Okay. Okay, we're gonna speed this up a little bit, and we'll see live feed of how Nvidia moved to this zone. Just sped up a little bit. So we can see it's approaching these zones, and if we look at these price levels, we can see some people are getting rid of their sell orders, and some people around right here are adding to their sell orders. So Nvidia runs up to 551. There's a small pullback. And we can change the size of these bubbles, and we can change these zones so we can see more or less. So let's keep playing. And we see now Nvidia reaches that 553 level. And we can see it took a lot of buyers from around 549 to 553. And now we see that big wall of sellers. We can see that there were a lot of sell orders that were added to 555. And what happens? We can see sell orders are coming in now. Look at this zone. Look how many sell orders there are around here, and we are struggling to break this level. And that is when I determined, hey, we can go lower. I just need to watch out for 550. If this 550 zone breaks, if sellers continue to push this down, we can move towards 546. And that's the trade that I took. And we can see we approach 550. And sellers continue to come in. Do we see this huge sellers right here? And this was enough to tell me that I can add to my position. And that's kind of what happened here. We reached that 553 zone. We've seen some resistance at this 550 zone, but we eventually broke through, and we actually came all the way down to $540. Nvidia absorbed these 546 orders as well. Now, when you look at this, for example, if you were taking a long position here, but you didn't have book maps, you would not be able to see these huge sell orders sitting right here. Another great trade that I took, I posted on my Facebook, was I took a short position on coin. I was so upset that I didn't hold on as long as I wanted to, but let me see if I open up my charts, if it's still there. Yes. Okay, so we can see I took this short area on coin around $160, and this could have thrown a lot of people off when this thing started running. It ran from 154 to 161, and many people could think, hey, this thing is breaking through and is going to make new recent highs, but that is if they did not see perfect. All right. That is if they did not see that there were 54,000 sell orders sitting at the $160 zone, and then 19,000 sell orders around $161. And what did coin do? It absolutely tanked after hitting these zones. So let's just watch. So it approaches this zone, and what happens? We absolutely tank afterwards. And this thing goes as low as $140. Now these contracts ran over 1,000%, and all it took is for you to simply recognize where those sellers are sitting. So many of us make day trading or investing in the stock market about some lines and some patterns, and this is doing this, so it must do this now. But we need to go back to the basics and just realize the market is about two things. Stocks go up because people are buying, and stocks go down because people are selling. If you know where the buyers are and you know where the sellers are, you will be able to take liquidity out of the markets and no longer be the liquidity that the markets use to move. That is all for this video, guys. I hope I answered some of your questions about liquidity and how to find some of these zones. And I will see you guys at 9:30 a.m. sharp. Peace.